And while we're on the topic of your tax dollars at work, there is more about the money pit on the shore of Falls Creek that was once the Olympic Village. Over the past few days, the city has been going to great lengths to minimize its losses in that development, and some have accused the city of fudging, underestimating those losses with a kind of numbers game. Well, tonight there are calls for a public inquiry into the entire affair, and even the mayor agrees.
How did the Olympic Village go from billion-dollar dream development to taxpayer nightmare? Critics are calling for an independent inquiry to find out what happened, who's responsible, and how do we prevent a similar disaster in the future.
The reason I think it needs to be someone independent is this is tainted by political partisanship. We know that it was a previous administration that made certain decisions and now a new administration that's making others. There's an election coming up in November. There's all of the controversy around the Olympics and the partisanship that went on around that influences how we talk about this project.
One suggestion, BC's Auditor General should investigate how taxpayers ended up on the hook for hundreds of millions. Vancouver's mayor supports an arm's-length review.
I'd like to see an independent look at it. Once we come through this next phase, we're in the middle of the receiver and the marketing firm selling the units right now. We need to look back, though, at how these decisions originally got made, when this thing went off the rails, and how that never happens again.
But what about the city's financial record? While the mayor is adamant his council has been transparent in a mess inherited by the MPA, critics are accusing Vision of misrepresenting the numbers. Last week, the city announced losses of about $50 million on the Olympic Village, but failed to mention taxpayers would not recover $180 million still owing on the land.
When the deal was done, everyone assumes that's what it's worth. That's what the deal is made at. The reality is we didn't get the money. So, we got a fraction of that money.
Just because you didn't get the money, it doesn't mean that it's not a loss. It's not a loss of close to $200 million.
In best accounting practices, you can't record what you might have received through a deal. You have to record what you did receive, and that's in this case what the city invested in that land.
The fact is they're not going to get the value out of the land that they originally told taxpayers they were going to get out of it, and that's a loss to taxpayers.